Hello, welcome back to Sushi Live Nodding. In this episode, I will be sharing with you this technique that you can use using grease pencil and spread chalk add-on, spread chalk notes, basically to kind of like remesh grease pencil on the fly. So let's just get started. I will create a grease pencil object, just blank, and I'm gonna draw something. So by default, of course, grease pencil will draw strokes, right? And I'm gonna open up spread chalk, and we know that spread chalk actually have GP plus macro. So this macro will read grease pencil and turning it into normal vertices or like vertices and edges. Okay, so let's I've done this in the past, so this is just a repeat. Oops, yeah, frame info, just plug this in. We actually just gonna work on frame 1, a single frame. Okay, so I'm gonna just make this maybe 1 and 2. So let's save this as GP Voxel. I'm gonna turn it into a Voxel at some point. Okay, so we have this already. Grease pencil, grease pencil stroke, and spread chalk nodes take care of everything, turning it into normal line. Okay, so however from here there's this vertices and edges data. It's multiple strokes, and we can bevel it. So bevel is fairly new. I really like this node a lot. It's a way we can turn vertices and edges, of course, into kind of like a cylindrical objects. So let's reduce the number of this circle. Okay, actually not this bevel, sorry. Bevel curve, sorry. So this is a point data, this is circle, this is polygon. So the output is gonna be a bunch of cylinder. You can control subdivision here. We can add more details here. So anyway, that's the techniques basically, and you turn on the cap start and cap end, so you close up the hole. And here let's actually use viewer bmesh, merge the result, so we have a single object representing our grease pencil. Right, so what can we do with this? We can actually use Voxel Remesher. So this is the result. Okay, that's grease pencil. So now with something solid like this, we could go back to grease pencil and actually draw on the surface of this. Okay, so I turn on surface, so the next grease pencil stroke should actually be on top of our mesh. Seems to be floating a little bit, but anyway, let's update it. Maybe at some point I accidentally transformed this, or not really. Seems to be working okay. We can actually still have control over the mesh. Currently, this radius is for all of the strokes, so it's not really respecting the grease pencil strokes, but that's okay. This is just like just a test, sharing the techniques. So you might notice me actually, you cannot see my hand, but every time after I draw a strokes, I tap arrow to the right. Here, look at it. Look at the timeline, and I go back to frame 1. So our grease pencil is on frame 1. So this is almost a, I don't know what it is. There's some kind of techniques online where you're drawing 3D using like a hot plastic, and I kind of want to emulate that using grease pencil. I mean, currently this looks just like random strokes, but it's kind of like a voxel drawing. In VR, I think people who have VR actually can do drawing like this. Yeah, so that's what we have so far. We can still play around with the radius. We can perhaps have more resolution like this by make the voxel size smaller. So this is affecting the result as well. So anyway, underneath is still just grease pencil, a single grease pencil with a lot of strokes, single objects, and this is the result of remeshing. Let me show you potential usage. Maybe using it for like an icing. So this material. So this is the stroke material of grease pencil. I'm gonna just take a screenshot of this because this is kind of looking pretty neat. Alright. I'm gonna delete everything. So I'm gonna delete everything, right? I'm gonna bring in a donuts, and we're gonna put icing on top of the donuts. So I have donut icing here. Drag and drop it. Oops. Drag and drop. Append. We're gonna append the objects. Donut icing append. Let's see if this guy already has material. Okay, so cool. Select everything. View. Frame selected. So we have this icing material. Okay, let's save this now. I actually made this procedurally. All of them is procedural, including the shader. I like the icing, this icing, but I'm gonna delete it. So this is our donut. So let's recreate our grease pencil, blank grease pencil, and we already have this grease pencil. I don't know if I need to change to number 2. Or anyway, let's draw something. This is gonna be the icing. The icing on top of a donut, right? And actually the surface actually have this offset. I think that's the one that's responsible for our offset. Alright, so let's update. So we already have something going on. I think this is reading my old grease pencil, not the new one. So that's the new one. Increase the step. So the step might be, we actually needs higher number there and here. So we have a cleaner result. Giving icing color. Even just that is actually already kind of nice, but we can always remesh it. So remesh is actually the process that you add on top. So let's say we get rid of the remesh for now and simply just paint the grease pencil. Okay. So let's say you wanna add more icing. You can write your name. You can draw anything on the donuts. It's almost like kind of like real icing. So you can see it's overlapping, but also it's behaving more like a solid fluid, right? You keep drawing on top of it. So, I mean, if you go to a cafe and you order a donut with icing and the person gives you icing that looks like this, maybe don't go back to the cafe. I mean, just tell them not too much icing, it's unhealthy. So that's Voxel. Right, so you get the idea, right? This pencil is actually really cool in itself. You have a lot of options with this pencil, and you can sculpt it. Like I say, I didn't play around with the idea of passing the thickness data into here into SketchUp. So for now, it's just a single value controlling everything, controlling the stroke weight. But you know, you can with a grease pencil, you can feel, you can erase also. Let's say, so when dissolving, there's so much option nowadays that when you erase grease pencil, it's gonna actually it's behaving different from before. So it's erasing grease pencil now, but now it's SketchUp is not happy what's going on. Let's just delete this. Let's redo the process, okay? Grease pencil blank. This guy have new name. It's different name here, which is kind of funny, but let's do it once again. Draw this pencil, and let's write something. Blend. Right, still working. So the setup is quite robust. So just blend. You can write down Guru. Blender Guru. Okay, this is Guru Donut. And once you're happy with this, the material. Oops, sorry, that's the wrong one. Simply add a remesh. And smooth shading. Okay, so you might notice that, so this circle, right, the radius, we can actually use random number on the radius. Make sure that the value is actually good. Plug this in, and we can have different radius for every strokes. Oh, interesting that it's affecting everything. Oh well, I guess it doesn't matter. Let's do a little bit of marking around. So maybe in the future I will be using the same techniques, perhaps to create like some kind of character creature. This could be like a modeling tool. I kind of mentioned it a couple of times to Blender developer, grease pencil, or this could be like a tool that merging grease pencil and sculpting tool of Blender. how you can add details, things like that. I don't know, is it more like details or it's more like kind of like a random, it's a little bit like a dynamic sculpt in a way, because you could easily make something that's going out. Oops. And you can actually have multiple strokes like that. Oh, okay. It's quite unhappy with something. Okay, you know what happened? If the stroke is too small like that, Spreadchalk actually unhappy about this guy over here. Yeah. If the stroke is too short, it doesn't have, it's not get resampled properly, and so it doesn't have data for the next node. All right, so we have this, and you can control this with the voxel. More or less, you have something that you can work further on. You know, like say you're done with it. You know, get rid of Spreadchalk, get rid of grease pencil. You still get you still have this, and then you go to sculpt mode, and you go to clay, start sculpting. Oh, okay. Get rid of remesh. Interesting how it disappeared. Maybe it's too strong. Get rid of symmetry. Sculpt away. Oh, clay Tom is the one that I want to use. Supposedly, you know, I made a mistake, right? I'm supposed to use remesh modifier and then hit apply. And I go to sculpt mode and start sculpting. So this is some kind of technique that I want to share with you. Hopefully you'll find this interesting and useful. Let me know if you have anything to add. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.